Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Key to the Streets. It's your boy, Mike Gomes. Today, we're going to go over what our team looks like everybody, all the team players, and how we manage those team players and get everybody cranking. So before we do that, if these videos have been giving y'all any value, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. But let's get into it. Let's get on the whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys our sales team. All the team members on our sales team. So we're going to start off where it all starts off, here in the lead gen department. Our 3 lead generators, we're essentially calling them marketers. They go out and they ask people if they're interested in selling their property. Somebody says yes, and boom, a lead is generated. Somebody says yes and has motivation, then the lead is generated, then they push it through our system. But we call these marketers or lead generators. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3. So their job every day is to cold call and text homeowners and say, hey, would you ever sell your house? Why would you sell your house? What price are you looking for your house? When do you want to sell your house? Those types of questions. Okay. And then once they get somebody on the hook that wants to sell their house, they then bring it to our lead manager. So this is our lead manager or relationship manager. Okay. So this lead manager's job is to set appointments for the acquisitions team. So she does 2 things. She calls all these leads initially, like right away, literally an hour after they were generated. She calls them and she tries to set an appointment. If she doesn't set an appointment, then she puts it into a follow-up. So she's doing 2 things all day. She's following up with existing leads and setting appointments for the acquisitions team. So that's what she does. Okay. Now we have we have 2 acquisition managers. Their job is to do one thing and one thing only: close. They do this through following up, giving offers, that type of stuff. So just to give you guys an idea of how we managed to get this team in place and how we coach them up and get everybody up to speed, we use something called the player coach model, which means let's just take this acquisition manager for a perfect example. Her name is Karen. Karen used to be here. She used to be a lead generator. She used to just cold call and text every day and generate leads. And then she got really, really good at it and became a lead manager. Once she became a lead manager, she was the one that was in charge of coaching the cold caller and texters, the new onboards, people that just got onboarded. She was in charge of getting them up to speed. So player coach, right? Player, who was the player in this case? Karen used to be the player and now she's the coach. Now she's coaching people. So we do that on all levels. Same thing with the lead manager. Karen actually was the lead manager and she came up to acquisition manager. So when we have one of these cold callers that when she was ready to become a lead manager, who do we have coach her? Karen, because she used to be a lead manager. Okay. So whenever somebody is a new hire, they get coached by somebody that is in that position, that's crushing that position, or used to be in that position and is in an elevated position, and then they coach the new onboard coming in. So essentially it's a player coach model. So it's not one person every single time coaching everybody. So for me, right, when this is my other acquisition manager, Felipe, he came in essentially as an acquisition manager right away. He didn't go through the cold calling stage. He didn't go through the lead manager stage. He just came in as a junior acquisition manager, we call him. And as he was a junior acquisition manager, I was the one coaching him because I'm a player, right? I was the full-time acquisition manager in our business for a while, doing all the closing, doing all the follow-ups for the acquisition leads. So I coached him on how to do the job. Now, same thing. When Karen came in as an acquisition manager, since I coached Felipe ended up coaching Karen on how to be an acquisition manager. So this is what we call the player coach model. Okay. Now, just because you have team members coaching each other and it sounds super, super easy, it's not that easy. There is one more piece left. This last piece is called culture. And the culture is directly driven from the leaders. Now, you have sub leaders, as you see, you have Felipe leading the acquisitions team and all that type of stuff. We have a co-caller leading the co-calling team and everything. So you have those sub leaders, but everything stems from the leaders, the business owners, right? That's where culture is made. So I'm going to give you all some sauce right here. When I was building out this business, right, and I was coming up with our scripts and I was coming up with processes and everything like that and ideas on how we need to structure all this stuff, I wasn't just taking it from somebody else, like a mentor or something, and just immediately implementing it. I was doing that, sort of like taking what I've learned from doing the business and from other people doing the business and implementing it to them and telling them like, hey, here's what we should do. But as a guy, that's what I was doing. But here's the biggest thing. You're going to want to write this down. I was having them come up with the process because they're the ones out there doing it every day. Right. So they have an idea. They're smart. This isn't rocket science, right? They know what they're doing. So I have them come up with the process. And what that does is that creates a sense of ownership. And now they really, truly own their position and they want to do a good job. So that's how we've built a really, really good culture in our business because everybody's like, yes, let's freaking rock and roll. Everybody has ownership in it. Right. So with that being said, it's not even just like ownership in their position. It's ownership in the family. Like we're a family. It's a family type of oriented business. That's how we're structuring this thing. Right. Like everybody helps each other out. Right. If anybody needs help, all the team members there are there. They're all in a group chat together, like chatting just about regular day stuff. Like we have a really good culture in the business. Everybody hangs out. So I guess I can say one more thing that's helped us with culture, and it's been a virtual office. So along with the player coach model and giving ownership into positions and stuff like that, we have created a virtual office that essentially is kind of like having a regular office, right? Like let's just say if you know the movie Wolf of Wall Street, right? It's a big office with a bunch of salespeople at a bunch of desks and everything, and the culture is really good. They all are buddies and they're all high-fiving and stuff like that while like they're doing sales calls and everything, right? We're trying to imitate that as much as possible. So we created a virtual office with a Zoom, right? So whenever somebody has a seller call that's funny or somebody's about to close a deal or something, they unmute, everybody listens to the call. Or, during the day, if somebody's on a break, you can go in a breakout room and chat with somebody. Like we're building an environment that's just like an office, but virtually, because that's important. That builds culture, it builds a family type of environment. So I hope this helped y'all. Some of y'all might not be just at this position yet, but keep it in mind as you're moving forward, right? Because I had this vision kind of planted in my head when I started this business. And as I kept going, I just kept using this. So like for a perfect example, in the beginning, it was just me and Karen. Okay. That's it. I didn't have a business partner. I didn't have anything else. It was just me and Karen. And as I started getting more team members and stuff like that, I was using all these things to grow. I was using the player coach model. I was using the management techniques and stuff that I just taught you guys. So if you're just a small team right now and you only have maybe one cold caller or something like that, do not sweat it. Don't look at this and get overwhelmed and be like, holy crap, I don't know how I'm going to be able to manage 6 team members. Like that's crazy, which it's actually not. Like I know people out here that have like 50 VAs just crushing it. Like, so if you're only at like the one cold caller or texting or maybe 1 or 2 cold caller stage, like do not worry about it. Just keep it in mind as you're growing. I hope this video brought y'all some value. If it did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out, baby. Let's go.